Welcome to another exciting moment of our storytelling hour. I still remain Metal Gong, and I'll be your narrator for today's story titled The King and the Juju Tree. Sit back and enjoy. Udolbodom was a famous king who lived at Itam, which is an inland town and does not possess a river. The king and his wife therefore used to wash at the spring just behind their house. King Udol had a daughter of whom he was very fond of, and looked after her most carefully, and she grew up into a beautiful woman. For some time the king had been absent from his house, and had not been to the spring for 2 years. When he went to his old place to wash, he found that the Idem juju tree had grown up all around the place, and it was impossible for him to use the spring as he had done formerly. He therefore called 50 of his young men to bring their machetes and cut down the tree. They started cutting the tree, but it had no effect, as directly they made a cut in the tree, it closed up again. So, after working all day, they found they had made no impression on it. When they returned at night, they told the king that they had been unable to destroy the tree. He was very angry when he heard this, and went to the spring the following morning, taking his own machete with him. When the juju tree saw that the king had come himself and was trying to cut his branches, he caused a small splinter of wood to go into the king's eye. This gave the king great pain, so he threw down his machete and went back to his house. The pain, however, got worse, and he could not eat or sleep for 3 days. He therefore sent for his rich men and told them to cast lots to find out why he was in such pain.
Your Majesty, may you live long. Your Majesty, the reason why you have this great pain is because the juju tree is angry with you. When you wanted to wash at the river, you tried to destroy it, so it became very angry. May you live long, Your Majesty. If you want the pain to go, you must sacrifice 7 baskets of flies, a white goat, a white chicken, and a piece of white cloth, in order to satisfy the juju. May you live long, Your Majesty.
The king did this, and the rich men tried their lotions on the king's eye, but it got worse and worse. He then dismissed these witches and got another lot. When they arrived, they told the king that, although they could do nothing themselves to relieve his pain, they knew one man who lived in the spirit land who could cure him. So the king told them to send for him at once, and he arrived the next day.
Greetings, Your Highness. Before I do anything to your eyes, what will you give to me?
I will give you half my town with the people in it, also 7 cows and some money.
No, I will not accept your offer.
Name your own price, and I will pay you.
Your Majesty, the only thing I am willing to accept as payment is your daughter.
Go away! I would rather die than let you have my daughter.
That night the pain was worse than ever, and some of his subjects pleaded with the king to send for the spirit man again and give him his daughter, and told him that when he got well, he could no doubt have another daughter, but that if he died now, he would lose everything. The king then sent for the spirit man again, who came very quickly, and in great grief the king handed his daughter to the spirit. The spirit man then went into the bush and collected some leaves, which he soaked in water and mixed it into a potion.
Your Majesty, pour this juice into your eye. When you wash your face in the morning, you'll be able to see what was troubling you in the eye.
Thank you, sir. Please stay and pass the night here.
No, Your Majesty, I must return to the spirit land now.
When he came back to his proper senses, he realized that he had sacrificed his daughter for one of his eyes. So he made an order that there should be general mourning. Before it was done, the king rose up and washed his face, and found that the small splinter from the juju tree, which had been troubling him so much, dropped out of his eye. The pain disappeared, and he was quite well again. For the first 2 years of the mourning, the king's daughter was put in a fattening house by the spirit man, and was given food, but the skull who was in the house told her not to eat.
My friend, do not eat that food. They are fattening you up, not for marriage, but so that they can eat you up.
She therefore gave her the food which was brought to her to the skull, and lived on chalk herself. Towards the end of the 3rd year, the spirit man brought some of his friends to see the king's daughter, and told them he would kill her the next day, and they would have a great feast of her. The following morning, the skull gave her some medicine, and asked her to run back to her father.
My friend, as soon as the spirit man goes to the forest to gather some wood to his friends, quickly run as fast as you can to your father. Take this medicine with you, and as you go to the bathing well, drop some of the medicine on the ground, and the two roads to become one. Lead by the road door and go through the wood. You will find the road. If you meet anybody on the road, be silent. Don't salute them, or else they will know you're a stranger in the spirit land and will kill you. Go straight and don't turn back, my child, until you reach your father's house.
Having thanked the skull for his kind advice, the king's daughter started off, and when she reached the end of the town and found the road, she ran for 3 hours, and at last arrived at the branch road. There she dropped the medicine as she had been instructed, and the two roads immediately became one. So she went straight on and never saluted anyone or turned back, although several people called to her. About this time, the spirit man returned from the road and went to the house, only to find the king's daughter was absent.
Where is the king's daughter? I'm sure I left her here. She had gone out by the back door, and I don't know where she had gone to. I think I know where she has gone to. I must leave at once.
When the girl heard his voice, she ran as fast as she could, and at last arrived at her father's house, and told him to take at once a cow, a pig, a sheep, a goat, a dog, a chicken, and 7 eggs, and cut them into 7 parts as a sacrifice, and leave them on the road, so that when the spirit man saw these things, he would stop and not enter the town. This the king did immediately, and made the sacrifice as his daughter had told him. When the spirit man saw the sacrifice on the road, he sat down and at once began to eat. When he had satisfied his appetite, he packed up the remainder and returned to the spirit land, not troubling any more about the king's daughter. When the king saw that the danger was over, he beat his drum and declared that for the future, when people die and go to the spirit land, they should not come to earth again as spirits to cure sick people.